There comes a moment when people look beyond a single individual and recognize the spark has ignited something far greater. When a person stands not for personal glory, but for collective dignity, that stance transcends leadership and becomes a movement. Today, we declare, this is not just a leader, this is a movement. This movement rises from the soil of our shared history, fueled by the dreams of our ancestors and the hopes of future generations. It calls each one of us to stand, to act, to belong. Look around you, landscapes that bear witness to kingdoms and civilizations older than many written histories. Peoples whose languages carry rhythms of resilience, whose traditions teach harmony with the land. This heritage is not a relic. It is the foundation on which a new era must be built. When one person emerges to challenge injustice, to speak truth, to refuse compromise of dignity, that individual embodies a story thousands of years in the making. But the power lies not in the person alone. It lies in the awakening of a collective will. A movement forms when individuals recognize themselves in that calling and step forward. A movement demands more than speeches. It demands conviction turned into action. It begins with the courage to question inherited norms. Why should decisions about our land be taken elsewhere? Why should our resources enrich distant boards while our communities struggle? Why should our narratives be written in foreign capitals? When a leader dares to ask these questions aloud, the act itself signals a shift. Yet that shift only becomes a true movement when people everywhere claim those questions as their own and join in seeking answers. Consider the first spark of any great change. Rarely does it originate from comfortable consensus. It emerges from discomfort. When someone feels in their bones that staying silent is a betrayal of self and community, that person may appear alone at first, but their voice echoes in others who have felt the same pang of injustice. When enough voices join, that echo transforms into a roar. This is how movements begin, from solitary realization to shared determination. Movements feed on shared vision. What is our vision? A continent where sovereignty is not a slogan, but a living reality, where partnerships with the world are based on mutual respect, not on borrowed dependency, where innovation is homegrown, rooted in our context, where youth are empowered to shape their destinies rather than follow scripts written by others. This vision arises from understanding our strengths, our creativity, our community bonds, our familiarity with the land, our cultural wealth. It rejects the notion that worth must be validated elsewhere. We value ourselves because we know our own potential. Every movement needs structures that extend beyond one person's presence. It requires networks of trust, communities that share resources and knowledge, institutions that uphold transparency and accountability, platforms where voices can gather unhindered. When a leader initiates reforms or calls for change, the movement solidifies as these networks become active. Local councils mobilize, youth groups organize initiatives, entrepreneurs collaborate across borders, farmers adopt innovations shared regionally. Each node strengthens the whole. The movement is not confined to capital cities. It thrives in villages, towns, urban centers, digital spaces. Education is the lifeblood of sustainable movements. It begins by teaching our youth not to feel inferior, but to feel responsible. Responsible for carrying forward the legacy of resilience. Responsible for questioning assumptions that limit innovation. Responsible for forging solutions tailored to our realities. When children learn both the history of how their ancestors built societies and the science that can improve lives today, they become pillars of the movement. They ask, how can we harness solar energy to light remote villages? How can we design local industries that serve our markets first? How can we preserve biodiversity while boosting productivity? Their questions lead to projects, and projects become the movement's visible progress. But movements also require courage to confront internal challenges. Corruption, complacency, fear. These can erode trust. A leader who stands for integrity must inspire others to hold themselves and institutions to high standards. When people see accountability practiced consistently, when misdeeds are addressed transparently, when public resources serve public good, they gain faith in the movement. This faith spreads, encouraging more participation. A movement built on integrity becomes self-reinforcing. Each act of honesty fuels further trust. Each successful community initiative demonstrates possibility. Unity in diversity is essential. Our continent is vast, many cultures, languages, environments. A movement cannot demand uniformity of expression. Rather, it invites each community to contribute in its own way. In one region, perhaps innovations in agriculture address soil challenges. In another, creative industries blossom. In a third, renewable energy projects light homes. Each contribution strengthens the collective tapestry. When we share successes and lessons, we avoid repeating mistakes and accelerate progress. Movements flourish when networks cross borders, workshops where farmers from different regions exchange techniques, digital platforms where artists collaborate, research collaborations tackling shared health issues. These connections turn a local spark into continental momentum. A movement speaks with many voices but one resolve. That resolve declares we will not accept terms imposed without consent. We will not compromise dignity for temporary gain. We will not retreat before external pressures that seek to divide or weaken us. Yet resolve alone is not enough. We pair it with strategy. Strategy means building capacity, training engineers, strengthening institutions, investing in infrastructure that links communities, developing financial systems that channel local savings into local development. Strategy means forging equitable partnerships, businesses and nations that engage with us as equals, sharing technology and expertise in ways that build our independence rather than foster reliance. Strategy means mobilizing diaspora resources thoughtfully, skills, investments, advocacy directed toward genuine progress, not token gestures. Stories of past movements remind us of that transformation often meets resistance from entrenched interests, both internal and external. Those who benefit from old structures may push back. They may sow doubt or fear. They may threaten instability. Here, the movement's resilience is tested. Solidarity becomes crucial. When communities stand in unity, when networks defend each other, when transparent communication counters misinformation, the movement weathers storms. Each challenge overcome reinforces confidence. We learn that shared purpose can outlast attempts to divide us. The movement's heartbeat is sustained by everyday acts, as well as grand initiatives. A teacher inspiring a student, a mentor guiding an entrepreneur, a community organizing a clean energy pilot, a journalist exposing injustices, an artist creating work that uplifts identity and sparks dialogue. These acts may seem small in isolation, but collectively they shape attitudes and values. They embed the movement into daily life. When individuals see that their contributions matter, they become active participants rather than passive observers. This engagement fuels momentum. As the movement grows, it attracts allies across the globe, those who recognize that a rising Africa enriches the world. Collaborative research on health challenges, joint ventures in sustainable technologies, cultural exchanges that broaden understanding. All these partnerships must be negotiated on terms that respect our agency. A genuine ally does not seek to dominate, they seek mutual advancement. The movement guides these relationships, ensuring they align with our vision of autonomy and shared benefit. A leader at the movement's forefront must communicate vision and galvanize action, but must also step aside when others are needed. Movements outlive individuals. The true measure is not how long one person leads, but how robust the structures and shared values become. Leadership within a movement rotates. Experts emerge to address specific challenges. Community organizers take initiatives forward. Youth voices innovate new approaches. This distributed leadership prevents dependency on a single figure and embeds resilience. Movement requires patience and persistence. Progress may not always be linear. Setbacks will occur. Droughts, economic shocks, political tensions, these test resolve. Yet each setback offers lessons. When a project falters, analyze why and adapt. Resilience is built through iteration. Try, learn, improve, persist. This mindset distinguishes movements from fleeting uprisings. It ensures that the drive toward dignity and progress endures through challenges. Communication is the movement's bloodstream. Sharing successes encourages participation, exposing challenges invites solutions, transparent dialogue builds trust. Use every medium, community gatherings, social media, radio, local assemblies, educational institutions. Empower voices from every demographic, elders with wisdom, youth with innovation, women with leadership that uplifts families and communities. When communication flows freely, silos break down and collective intelligence emerges. A movement must also honor the past while shaping the future. We learn from our ancestors' achievements, their governance systems, their approaches to communal welfare, their respect for the environment. We meld these lessons with modern science and technology to craft solutions uniquely suited to our contexts. This balance prevents us from discarding valuable heritage or blindly imitating external models. It anchors the movement in authenticity. At pivotal moments, symbolic acts galvanize broader engagement, inaugurating community projects, celebrating collaborative successes, public declarations of shared commitments. These rituals remind participants of collective identity and purpose. Yet beyond symbolism, the movement's substance lies in tangible improvements, cleaner water, better education, economic opportunities, healthier communities. When people see real change, belief in the movement deepens and spreads. Ultimately, this is not about any single leader's legacy. It is about a continuum of transformation that each generation advances. The sentiment, "This is not just a leader, this is a movement," reminds us that while leadership ignites the spark, the movement encompasses all who choose to stand for dignity, equity, and progress. It is inclusive. Anyone who embraces this vision becomes part of the movement. It is expansive. It reaches into every village, every city, every diaspora community. It is enduring. It persists beyond fleeting trends, grounded in shared values and collective action. To every person listening, the movement calls you. Reflect on the challenges you see: injustice, inequality, environmental threats, lack of opportunity. Identify where you can act, perhaps through local initiatives, perhaps by collaborating across borders, perhaps by supporting transparent institutions or mentoring youth. Take that first step today. Encourage others to join. Share knowledge, share resources, share commitment. To those who doubt, know that movements begin with uncertain beginnings. The path may be difficult, but history shows that determined communities can reshape their destinies. When people unite around a vision rooted in dignity and mutual respect, they become unstoppable. The fact that you are listening indicates curiosity. Let that curiosity become conviction. To global partners, recognize that this movement seeks collaboration, not charity. Engage with us as equals. Invest in shared innovation. Respect our goals and agency. When Africa advances on its own terms, the benefits resonate globally. New technologies, vibrant cultures, resilient societies that contribute to worldwide stability and prosperity. In closing, remember, a single leader can light the flame, but the movement's fire warms countless hearts and fuels collective action. This is not just a leader, this is a movement. Let us carry that flame together, forging a future where dignity guides decisions, where autonomy empowers communities, where unity across diversity propels progress. Stand, act, join the movement. Together, we will shape a destiny worthy of our heritage and our aspirations. Thank you.